All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Trump Hasn't Gotten Us show, or yet. Trump Hasn't Gotten Us Yet show. This is actually the MMA Advocates presented by CrossBonesMMA. My name is Eddie Law at ABQ. Of course, my boy Dave Rodriguez. Andy's going to be joining a little later. Fred Kirby should be joining a little later, and I believe Jesse will as well. So we'll have the whole crew eventually. But we decided, fuck it, we're here now, so let's get started. Top 24 finale came by, went down this last Saturday. A lot of people were saying it was going to suck, dude. A lot of people were saying this fight card's weak. It's not, no one watches DJ. Regardless, I've only heard about the numbers of people that tuned in. Apparently, did pretty well, especially for being a Demetrius Johnson card. But the fight's delivered, man. I mean, and if it wasn't like a good fight, it was some kind of controversy, right? Let's start off with Masvidal and Ellenberger. First of all, right away in the first round, Masvidal was whooping the shit out of Ellenberger. Ellenberger got rocked early, and Masvidal was fucking him up pretty bad. And then Ellenberger got his toe stuck in the cage, and he dropped. He was trying to pull it out, and then Masvidal jumped top and starts, dropping bombs on him and shit. Herb Dean waves the fight. Now it was more like he called a timeout, right? And he asked whoever's on the sideline, saying, asking him, "Hey, can I chuck that up to a malfunction?" Right? Can I say malfunction and start the fight back over, or end the fight and just call it a no contest because his toe got stuck in the freaking cage? I mean, you saw the replay over and over again. It was his toe was stuck in there. So, regardless, I mean, you tell me what you think. Watching the fight, I think the Masvidal was going to win the fight anyway. It just ended up being a real weird ending. But do you have any problem with watching? No problem. But what do you think of Masvidal getting the win on that one? And do you actually give him credit for it? You know what I'm saying? Like in the rankings or whatever.
Yeah, I agree that it was, at the time, it's a tough call. We've talked about it on the show before that, Herb Dean's reffing a fight at any given place and any time. He's probably reffing a fucking fight right now as we speak. Yeah. But usually when it's something like that and it's like a technicality or something like that, or they try to call a timeout, I know that's what Herb was calling for, and then trying to, get the match back going as like a malfunction or something like that. So strange circumstance. We don't normally see that too often. As you said, Masvidal was pretty much laying into Jake Ellenberger, and I didn't really see that fight, going swinging Jake's way. But hey, if he made it into the second round, who knows? But Masvidal has always been known to be a guy to come on pretty strong as the fight goes on. So I would have given all the credit to Masvidal to actually probably look for a finish, possibly, if the fight would have continued. But very strange, man. We'll probably never actually see that take place ever again. And I know there's people tweeting out jokes about fucking Bellator signing the fans and this and that, but it's like it doesn't take too much shine from Masvidal's win. As we all know, he was fucking whooping some ass. So and I know he's pretty smart too. In his win, he actually called his next shot, in which he wants to do a dance with old Cowboy Cerrone. So yeah, we'd love to see that take place. So Jorge Masvidal, though, Eddie, doing all the right things. He's performing. It's the Masvidal that I love to see, because I know as he's continually going to be active, and an active Masvidal, he's coming into his own in that division now. I think he's going to be a threat, and he's asking for all for top fights, and he's going to get them soon enough.
Yeah, look, I'm hoping for Cowboy and Masvidal actually go down. Like, can you imagine how crazy that would be? Two guys that don't back down. A guy as skilled as Cerrone would be a huge test for Masvidal. But let's say Jorge actually beats him, that'd be a huge win for game bread. So look, regardless, people, I saw the same shit you did. Bellator's trying to gate, the fence. People are doing hashtag Toegate and shit like that. Regardless of what we thought of the fight, like, it was going that way. Like, I don't see how Ellenberger was gonna be able to come back after getting beat the hell up, just right away. So
yeah, and another thing too is was probably across the board interesting on this entire card that took place is a lot of the fights played out the way they played out was technically like part to do with the cage, the smaller size cage being used. So I think had there been the normal size cage, fights could have been a lot different. But I kind of think what I was telling a lot of people who I was watching the event with is the smaller cage kind of forces the action a bit, whether it's a smaller fighter like Demetrius, the lightning fast guys at flyweight, or if it's a big time guys at heavyweight, or we've seen what happened in the Jared Cannonier fight and Ian Cutelaba. I think the smaller cage kind of, it benefited both guys, but it produced a hell of a fight in which there was some strange decisions or so, but strange on the scorecards when you talk about the Cejudo fight as well. But we'll get to that in just a second. But my point is, like I said, just the smaller cage kind of, it forces a different kind of fight on both fighters depending on what the styles matchup may be.
Yeah, well, shit, let's get to it now. Cejudo against Benavidez.
Yeah.
Look, early in the fight, no, I forgot which rounds exactly. I know he got called for it twice. Accidental nut shot, right, from Cejudo on Benavidez. Ultimately, it cost him a point, right? So then we go to the scorecards. Before the scorecards were read, I kept saying, without the point taken away, I got Cejudo by unanimous. I just don't think that Benavidez did enough, in my opinion, to get the win. It might have been split for Cejudo. But I thought worst case it would be a draw or something like that, right? I did not see it at all how the judges gave it to Benavidez. I thought Benavidez did not win that fight. And then after the fight, he's talking it up like he won that shit. Like, come on, dude. I mean, right? I had Cejudo winning, regardless. Who'd you get? Who'd you have in that one?
An awful scorecard. Whoever had that 30-27 for Cejudo. I really don't know how you even get that type of score in that fight, being that there was a point deducted. And I actually love that the point was taken away because it happened twice. We were just talking about this on a previous episode that, a lot of fighters are going into fights where if there's an eye poke or if there's a kick, they tend to get away with them, in which this happened. Both the kicks happened shortly one after another. So therefore, proper action was taken. So I think that was necessary. It really played into, the entire bout, because it was a real close fight. I don't believe Cejudo did enough. He looked good. He looked like he's improved his craft a bit. But against Joseph Benavidez, man, it kind of, both guys were, the wrestling and the jiu-jitsu kind of canceled the one out. It was more like a kickboxing fight, you know what I'm saying? So Joe Benavidez, though, known KTB, he's tough. He's tough to keep down. I thought that would be Henry's approach, is try to get him down and try to hold him down. But not many people have been successful in their efforts. But Cejudo looked a bit sharper, but still not enough to fade Joseph Benavidez, in which he was never close to finishing the fight at all. Very, very close, but totally on the side of Joe Benavidez winning that fight.
I had Cejudo, man. I thought I mean, maybe we saw the same fight, right? But maybe we saw it different ways. I just thought that Cejudo did enough, but you're right. And look, I didn't see Cejudo taking the fight to the ground. Joseph Benavidez' jiu-jitsu is ridiculous. I mean, they call it. They say he has his own brand of jiu-jitsu called Jiu-Jitsu, right? So it's very difficult for me to even think Cejudo's going to take his ass down and keep him down. And okay.
And he did. At one point in the fight, he did take him down, and it was just a split second, and Benavidez was right back up. So
right back up, man.
That's what he's known for. He really just he's competed against Mighty Mouse twice, got starched once, but he's beaten everybody else. There's nobody else at the top of that division. I don't know if we're going to see the Mighty Mouse and Benavidez 3 as soon as everybody's like kind of thinking that fight might happen. But Tim Elliott, man. I mean, now we'll get to the main event. I mean, Tim Elliott showing up, and as we welcome in Andrew here. Welcome to the show, Mr. Andrew Reed.
Morning.
And as we get, like I was mentioning, the Elliott fight, the last thing we all thought was Tim Elliott finishing the fight in the first round. It nearly happened.
No, it didn't.
Man,
shut up.
you talk about a performance.
Didn't nearly finish in the first round.
Well, just the way he showed up correct. He was there to win. Mighty Mouse, I guess, suffered some type of a minor injury, or he has some type of knee injury, I believe. So we're unsure of what the timetable is on which Mighty Mouse will return to action. But total dominant performance after the first round. What are your guys' thoughts on Mighty Mouse performance and Tim Elliott on the other side?
Oh, real quick, Andy, who'd you have in the Cejudo Benavidez fight?
Well, first and foremost, whoever gave Benavidez 30-26 needs shooting.
Yep.
Because he wasn't watching the same fight as everybody else. But it was close. It could have gone either way. It wasn't. I was happy with the result, not the scoring. But
yeah,
it's one of those things, isn't it? It's just they keep employing people that are innumerate, illiterate, and just stupid to judge.
Right. I mean, and people blame it on. First of all, I'm with you on that. The judges are ridiculous, but everyone's like, "Oh, it's a 10-point must system too." I think it's a combination of all that shit put together. I'm not a fan of that 10-point thing either.
People just need to sit and watch John McCarthy when he does his Ask Big John McCarthy and see how refing is done. And if you don't like it, argue with him, because he's the one that set the rules in the bloody first place. Yeah,
and that dude's saying he's going to be done soon too. He doesn't see himself refereeing much longer, so we're going to lose that guy too at some point. Anyway, but Andy, you were saying right now that Tim Elliott didn't almost have it in the first round. I'm with you. All right, I thought Demetrius Johnson had that fight from the get-go. I was like waiting, like, all right, you gonna end this shit or not? Come on, dude. Like, what are we doing here? Fucking end this shit.
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, no, it wasn't close, was it? I mean, okay, he had him. What was it, a guillotine and stuff like that? But it wasn't. It was. I mean, he was smiling all the way throughout it. I think it took him by surprise. Yeah, I think the first couple of minutes took him by surprise. And he was like, "Okay, this guy is up for it."
And right out the gate, I mean, Tim Elliott, he must have drank about like a 20-ounce Red Bull and then another like 8-ouncer on top of that, because he came out fucking firing and fired up. You know what I'm saying? Like his dad sitting outside cage side. Props to him. He showed up. He nearly shocked the world. He somewhat came close.
Well, no,
he dropped
didn't.
DJ.
No, he didn't really shock the world. Shut up.
Hey, man, you remember that? If you want to go back, Andy.
Kirby's not even here yet.
Before the first round ends, Mighty Mouse gets dropped by Mr. Tim Elliott. So I don't think we've ever seen that before.
How many times has Mighty Mouse been put on his ass?
Dodson
put him down. Yeah, a couple times.
A couple of times, and he gets straight back up again.
McCall had him, didn't he? Did McCall drop him?
Yeah, McCall fought him tough as shit. That's what. Yeah.
But I don't know if he dropped him or not.
He has been put on his backside a couple of times, but
he's
the flash knockdowns.
But he pops right back up. He's never been knocked down and been in like super trouble, really. So look, I thought that was all Tim Elliott's chance was. It's like, all right, Tim Elliott's got to come out and just fire everything he has first two minutes of the first round, because after that is DJ's world. It's it. You know what I mean? And I'll tell you what, just like you said, dude, he showed up. But when he was on top of DJ going for that guillotine or whatever. Even DJ was talking about, he had one artery, the other one was fine. I mean, that's what I was telling him, I was telling the ref, like, hey, I'm good, I'm okay, we're all right here, don't end this shit, Yeah. So
if you want to see what happens when a guillotine or a choke's in fully, watch was it McMahon's fight?
Yeah, McMahon
see the state of her after she'd had a tight guillotine. She was purple.
Yeah,
so that's what happens when they're in tight. And I mean,
no, that was some nutty shit.
Not even close. All
right, coming in from Ohio, the man himself, Fred Kirby. What's up, man?
What's happening? What are you sissies talking about?
We're talking about you now, but Demetrius Johnson against Tim Elliott. Now, me and Andy had it the same way. Where like the DJ was fine. That fight was gonna go that way no matter what. What did you think of the fight? Do you think Tim Elliott actually had DJ in trouble?
Nah, I don't think he ever had him in any real trouble. Like, y'all mean like with the guillotine and when he kind of low key almost rocked him or whatever in the first round?
Yep.
Yeah, no, I don't think he was ever in any real trouble. But I mean, did y'all think that he was even going to do that?
Nope.
No. He really outdid himself right there, I think.
Yeah. I mean, was DJ in any legit trouble of being stopped? Of course not. But like, was I low key like, oh fuck me? I think it's one of those situations where like it seemed more impressive than it actually was, just because he was actually doing it. It's like, son of a bitch, he's actually got an advantageous position on DJ. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I garnered from that fight, man. And a lot of fights recently.
Garnered? Oh, that's a new word for you.
Hey, look at a fucking good one, wasn't it, you fucking limey prick? I tell you what, I think that we need to start holding a lot more stock in fuckers coming in with nothing to lose. I think that attitude means something. Listen, and for all the fucking dick riding you want to do, English, if Bisping and Luke Rockhold fought 100 times, 98 of them, the cockeyed prick gets a beating. Don't you know it, and I know it. 98% of the time he loses that fight, and if they ever fight again, I bet my first child that Bisping takes an L.
Really? Okay.
But
wave goodbye to her into slavery.
Get the fuck out of here. You really think Bisping would beat Rockhold again?
Yep.
Don't stop it. You do not. I don't even believe that you believe that. Listen.
Yes, I do.
I think that okay, whatever. The point is, having nothing to lose, I think, gives these guys and girls the ability to just come out and actually throw caution to the wind. And usually it ends up better for them. In a lot of situations, you see this, where it's like, no way in hell this guy's going to beat this guy. And bigger than shit, they come out and they do the unthinkable, or they at least have an impressive performance. You know what I'm saying? I think that shit helps a lot. I don't think, Elliott was ever going to beat DJ, but he looked fucking good. He looked.
It's also the situation where if you're a professional fighter and you have a street fight with somebody that doesn't know how to fight and they're swinging arms and legs out everywhere, it's harder for you to knock somebody out like that than it is to knock another professional fighter out, because you know what to expect. And it's a similar thing with these younger guys. Well, not younger because he's been in the UFC before, but it's a similar thing with these lower rank guys. They don't have the skill set, and when you're expecting a Benavides or a Cejudo or whatever, then the fact that somebody comes out flailing, which is what he did, and just trying everything, it does confuse you. And it confused DJ for the first, 3.5, 4 minutes, and then reset. I mean, him and Matt Hume together are just, masters of the bloody fight game. So reset, knew exactly what he had to do, and just carried on and won the fight.
Yeah, I mean, all DJ had to do really is get used to the size difference, right? Because Elliott's a huge 125er. He already said himself. He's like, he was talking about after the fight, like, I almost quit the weight cuts. Fuck, I don't need no belt, and he's actually gonna fight 135, which is, I think his weight has always been 135. I'm not 100% sure on that, but regardless, Dave, what do you think about a former UFC guy winning the Ultimate Fighter and coming back in to fight DJ?
Yeah, I mean, much respect to Tim Elliott, man. A lot of people are unfamiliar who this cat was. Previously, in the UFC, taking on some pretty top contenders at the time. The Bagatinovs, the guys that were hot at that time on route to DJ, which Bagatinov was a common opponent for both guys. So notably, like everybody's mentioning, that he is a big guy. He probably has a tough cut. I think a lot that played into Demetrius' game plan, which him and Matt Hume are fucking masters, like Andrew said, and we mentioned it last week. And I think their game plan played out perfectly. I was kind of shocked that Tim Elliott had some cardio to go the distance, because in that first round, 3 minutes in, he had his hands on his knees and he looked gassed as shit. And then he comes back and throws a left hook and drops Demetrius momentarily. But I'll give him that round. And going forward, he's gonna be a guy not to count out. I mean, he has that mentality, like Fred said, where there's been a couple fights. I mean, where there's guys, no fucks given. Everyone's counting them out, and they end up having great performances. This being a title fight, so nobody's ever showed showed that they could dominate DJ for more than one round. I guess give Tim Elliott a round and a half or so where he had some control of the fight. But Demetrius is forever evolving on the ground. He's going to get better and better. He loves that. He loves his ground game. I know he's capable of finishing the fight there as well as on the feet. Cardio for days in the small cage. It was an interesting fight that it was in a small cage, and I never seen Demetrius always in a bigger size cage. So, but yeah, Tim Elliott, he's earned his keep in the UFC once again.
I mean, listen, would y'all agree that this was DJ's hardest fight at flyweight, except for fucking Uncle Creepy? I mean, he hasn't had a harder fight.
Was Dotson hard? Was the Dotson fight?
Oh, shit, my bad. Yeah. The first Dotson fight was hell.
Yeah. The second one was
Dotson, Uncle Creepy. But other than that, he's blew past everybody. So, I mean, in that regard, Tim Elliott did pretty fucking solid.
Right. And
although I heard he's going to 35, too.
He's going to 35,
I don't think he'll do all that great there, Jack.
No. He's kind of – and look, the cut to 25 sucks for him, too. So, he's kind of like, shit out of luck in that point. But well, I ask you this, Kirby: Is Demetrius Johnson too good, and is that bad for the UFC?
Nah, of course not. No way, man. I love dominant champions. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing at all. What the fuck, like? And actually, I gotta say, man, I heard DJ on the MMA Hour.
Mm-hmm.
He actually curses a lot.
Yeah, a lot.
He dropped like fucking 9 fuck bombs and kind of don't give a shit what people think about him.
Yeah.
DJ's actually kind of cool. I think, I don't know. It seems like they need to probably put a little bit more promotion behind DJ. It seems like he could be a pretty fucking, he's actually an interesting dude. No fucks given, a bad motherfucker, a student of the game. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe like a little reality show or something for DJ and his tall, lanky white wife.
They just had a reality show for him. The entire Tough was based around him.
Yeah, kind of. No, but his thing, like
no. I mean DJ, not these horseshit champions.
I don't know. I've watched.
That's the point, actually. Does DJ now get 6 championship belts for all the people that have gone through Tough?
Wow,
hey, speaking of 6, though, I mean, the man did get a 6-figure payday. $350K is what he earned. So that's
plus the $40,000 from Reebok. So he took home almost $400,000. In fact, that might be the highest. From what I heard, might be the highest amount of money he's actually taking home after a fight. Because the last fight he got jack shit, like $100,000 or something like that. I mean, for a champion as dominant as him, $100,000 ain't shit. You know what I mean?
Right. But he's got to do the things necessary to generate that interest, man. Of course. He is getting to the point now to where, dare I say, he needs to be a bit cocky.
He's got to make Well, here's the thing. He's got to make people feel something about him, right? He's got to make people
the only flyweight champion of all time, right?
Right. No,
yeah,
what?
Put that shit on a shirt.
What it worked out best too for him, I think they brought it up on the MMA Hour, is he wasn't facing like the pay-per-view numbers to where everybody could talk shit and say, oh, he didn't draw the numbers. It was the tough show. It led into the fight. Tim Elliott unexpectedly came in tough for a round, I guess you could say, and then Demetrius dominated. He's a very dominant champion. I agree with Fred. He's got to be like, talk more shit. He's throwing F-bombs. He needs to be more. But then again, he's going to take on all challengers. So that's the thing. Demetrius will take on all challengers. It does not matter. And he'll clear them out until he cracks Anderson Silva's record.
Easy, Andrew. I see you seething. We don't want to turn DJ into Conor McGregor. But let's be honest. If DJ could call somebody a bitch or maybe throw a fucking little squirt of water at somebody here. What do you mean why? The same reason that fucking so that people will be interested in him and they'll give a fuck and they'll want to pay money to see him fight.
What, the same people that now follow Conor McGregor and think that Jose Aldo didn't have a career before he got knocked out by McGregor? Those same people, yeah. I don't believe he needs to do that. I don't believe he needs to do that. He is the best fighter on the planet. He doesn't have to badmouth people.
No, he does not have to. But if
he
wants to cash in,
but he doesn't need to.
Bullshit. Everybody needs to cash in.
Why?
He's already got the talent. All he needs. Well, listen. What separates Conor McGregor from DJ?
DJ's more talented by far.
Sit on a dick. What separates them? And listen, you might be right. You may be right. But Conor's mouth and his charisma.
But that's
like
Conor. But that's Conor. We've seen with every other fighter that tries to do a Conor, they fuck it up. They're useless. They act stupid. It doesn't suit them. If DJ all of a sudden started bad-mouthing people and trying to do Conor McGregor, it wouldn't suit him and people would go, you're fake. He stays as he is. He just beats everybody. Whatever you put in front of him, he beats. That's all he needs to do.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's why a lot of the way people are thinking, like, you have to be Conor McGregor or you have to be like this guy. I mean, we're kind of like, a lot of people are kind of, I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like, people are buying that shit. Like, it has to be that way. I mean, you got a dominant champion like DJ. All he's got to do is beat one after another. And I think he does it for a long period of time until he decides to jump maybe up to fight somebody at 135.
No, you guys are wrong. He does not just have to keep. Listen, he'll keep the belt like that. But will he ever sell a million pay-per-view buys? No, he will never do that. I don't give a shit who he beats. And I'm not saying act like Conor McGregor. I'll give you an example. When did you guys start really taking notice of Khabib?
Still don't.
Do you remember?
When he fought Gleison Tebow, I think that's when I first took notice.
When he ragdolled RDA is when I started noticing.
I'll tell you when I took notice to him. And I don't even remember who he fought. But he wore a shirt to the weigh-ins that said if jiu-jitsu or if sambo was easy, it'd be called jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Genius. Okay. He didn't talk a lot, but he was fighting a Brazilian. Okay. I think they might have even been in Brazil, maybe.
I don't know. I'm going to look at it.
But it's the type of thing that made me go, the stupid hat, the shirt. I'm like, who is this guy? Then he was impressive. That's the shit.
Yeah,
I don't know exactly
you.
what
That's appealing to a guy from Ohio.
It's a lot
with
of
man bun.
motherfuckers, okay? It's a lot of motherfuckers.
Here's the thing. Kirby's got.
You remember the T-shirt?
Kirby's got a point, though, right? You got to make people feel something about some type of way about you. You know what I mean? Everyone tuned in to watch Anderson Silva because he was that dominant, but that's 185 pounds. Like, there's people at 85 that can fight. You know what I mean?
But also Anderson fucking. Y'all remember he fucking?
Oh yeah, he was cocky in the cage.
It was he had a fucking thing. Yeah. DJ's an amazing fighter for sure. If he just twists a little something, and I think he's got it. Like I said, his personality, he's not like this little mousy figure. He is a bit brash. We just need to see that a little more. You know what I'm saying? Let that shit shine, and don't be so damn nice all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I grow tired sometimes of people going, I'll fight whoever the UFC puts in front of me. Throw a name out there, dude. Even Ronda was calling out. But before he knocked out Betch Correia, he called her out, right? It's like, this is an undefeated fighter. Betch Correia, like, take the O away from her.
She called out Betch Correia.
And he's the thing.
That's cute, though. I give it to her.
But think of it this way, though. She called her out, and the fucking pay-per-view blew up. Even though us four right here knew that Correia was fucked, right? People still bought the shit out of the pay-per-view.
How did Correia get the fight? Betch Correia fucking sucks. My little sister could probably throw Betch Correia a beating when she was good and drunked up. But Betch Correia beat off some shitbirds that were Ronda's friends.
Yeah.
Gave some horse shit about the WWE.
Mm.
I mean, some literal bullshit, and low-key got the fight and got disposed of quickly because she didn't deserve it. But sometimes that hype shit sells. I'm just saying DJ's got all the other shit. He, like you said, him and Matt Hume, dog, in that cage, they are fucking animals and hard to deal with. If he just had a little more, he could be a huge star, man.
Right, but it all depends on what Demetrius Johnson wants to do, right? If DJ is about, I want to get paid all these millions of dollars, that's the most obviously effective way of doing it, of going, is to say a bunch of stuff, promote yourself, better, and go with the flow that way, right? If he just says I just want to be champion as long as I can, then whatever, then he's doing the right thing.
Yeah, and right now, we could title DJ right now. I don't know if you all agree with me, but we could title him as the greatest flyweight in UFC history.
He's the only flyweight champion, so yeah.
If I was DJ, the next weigh-ins I came to, I'd have a fucking shirt that said John Jones who? Fuck Dominic Cruz.
Yeah.
Everybody on the pound-for-pound list, I'd have a cute little saying telling them to kiss my fucking ass.
Lucky you're not DJ then.
No, listen, DJ, if anybody hears this, just shout me out after you do it, and I promise you, watch what happens.
All right,
hey, Kirby, that fight you're referring to, the Khabib fight, it was the Tavares fight. That's the fight.
Oh, that's right.
He lands like 30 unanswered elbows, and then they finally just decide to stop the fight. So,
everyone was screaming at the TV like, "What the fuck?" Anyway, but yeah, anyway. So again, DJ remains champion. Tim Elliott, good showing, but he's up to the bantamweight division. All right, moving on to the next thing here. Of course, we have to talk about Conor McGregor. McGregor is, I know. McGregor's gonna take some time off. He deserves it, right? He's been fighting his ass off. Really, I don't know how many times he fought this year, but it was quite a bit. Hell, he fought Diaz twice. Fucking crying out loud. So, supposedly he's gonna take 10 months off, right? Up until after the birth of his child and all that. And but here's my thought about that is, to me, it stalls the lightweight division for like a year, right? I mean, 10 months plus, booking a fight, plus training camp and all that shit. You're talking about the lightweight belt won't be defended for a year. We just got off this shit with the featherweight belt not being defended for who knows how long. And now we're on to the lightweight division, lightweight belt not getting defended. And of course, Fred Kirby, with the, okay, whatever, dude. But what do you think about that, Fred? Go for it.
I tell you what I think about that. Don't cry. Listen, I tell you what we're going to do. You know what we're going to do? We're going to make an interim belt. Make the fight between Khabib and Tony Ferguson. Yeah. We're going to let them fight for the interim belt in the meantime. And then the winner gets Conor when he comes back.
I'm so sick of interim belts. I'm so sick of interim belts, for real.
Yeah, sits the cat fucking goddamn horses out of the barn with that shit. Might as well throw one. Yeah. Listen, all bullshit aside, I'll tell you what we're going to do. They're going to make that fight, and whoever wins that fight, we'll wait for Conor to get back. Simple as fucking pie, right?
Who are you picking in that one, Ferguson, Khabib?
Come on, the Russian Bear. I can't stand Tony Ferguson. Finally, he's getting exposed.
All right, hey, why not? Dave, what do you think about that? Conor out for 10 months, or at least a year, I think. And what do you think about Kirby's idea of making an interim belt?
Yeah, that fight does happen for sure. I kind of hate that it is an interim title that will be up, but then again, it's giving them the opportunity to become a champion. Just like when Carlos was the interim champion, when GSP was out, somebody's going to end up fighting Conor. So that's the key to fighting Conor McGregor. We know that there's that time frame now of 10 months of him being out. I mean, what did El Kukui say on an interview recently? I think he had a kid as well, and then he didn't take any time off or so. So he was kind of chirping about that and saying that, hey, I'm active. I'm here to fight. And then he's going to get handed Khabib. Definitely will be his toughest test of his career. It's a tough pick. I mean, I kind of want to side with Khabib. I've been very high on him for many years. It's a great matchup. It gives the one guy opportunity to say that they're a champion, whether it's interim or not, and it leads into the big money fight, the red panty night, which they'll end up meeting with Conor. And it just sucks that the division is going to be on hold. The 145 division is now going to kind of get a little bit of a reset, and we still know who the 145 champion is. Conor's the man. He has never been beat at 145. He's the man. You can't argue that. But going forward, the 55 division is going to get way fucking interesting with this Khabib and Ferguson fight. I cannot wait till it's booked.
No, I saw something on Twitter not too long ago. A lot of people were going back and forth. I mean, a lot of people were going back and forth talking about Conor McGregor and Demetrius Johnson. Who should be the pound for pound best, right? And of course, and Andy, I was going with you with this one actually. You know, of course, Demetrius Johnson defended the belt 9 times already. He's gonna go for 10, tie Anderson Silva, and then go for the 11 and break the record like he wants. Essentially, he wants to, you know, hold the record for most defenses. Now people are saying, oh well, yeah, that's all great and all that, but who do you fight 125? McGregor won 2 belts. He's a 2-weight champion. All this shit. Now, you know, what do you think about that argument just as a whole?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, it's Conor McGregor fans, isn't it? Fucking idiots. Is Conor McGregor a better fighter than Demetrius Johnson? Of course he isn't. Not even close at the moment. I mean, he might get there eventually, but he'll probably retire before that happens. No, not even close. If McGregor's going to retire for 10 months, then so should everybody who talks about it. They should shut up for 10 months as well.
And see, that's yeah. No,
like I said last week, he's not the one having the baby either. He's not growing a human inside of him. Why is he not? You know, go away with this lame ass excuse. But then, you know, how long has the light heavyweight division not had a title fight?
Oh man, it's been wow.
They're all over the place.
Yeah,
they're all over the place. So
it might have been a year because it was supposed to be defended at 200 and it didn't happen. Oh, that might have been a year. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's a good point. But
yeah, if McGregor's going to take a rest for 10 months,
yeah.
Every potato goblin fan on the internet needs to take a rest from mouthing off about him for the next 10 months.
I troll McGregor fans all the time, like especially after the first Diaz fight. And now if I tweet anything, even that might even be like misconstrued as a negative McGregor comment, holy shit! Like they lose their minds. And so at this point,
they haven't got a mind in the first place, have they?
Right. Still. But Kirby, you know, if someone came up to you with that, you know, argument, asking you who you think is, you know, better or the pound for pound number 1, Conor McGregor with 2 titles or Demetrius Johnson with 9 defenses, who'd you pick?
I mean, come on, man. Listen, everybody knows I'm a big Conor fan, but obviously it's DJ. I mean, dude's about to break Anderson or, you know, tie Anderson Silva's record and more than likely break it. And, you know, if they gave DJ the opportunity, he very well could possibly beat Dominic Cruz and be a 2-weight champion too. It's not like he's fought at 35 and got snuffed out. So, you know, listen, I like Conor and all, and you know, Andy's right. Maybe he goes on to defend the belt a couple times and actually wins the belt at 70. Who knows what's in the cards for dude? But right now, having never even defended either title, as much as I like Conor, hell nah, man. DJ's definitely, you know, has way more accolades as far as that goes. You know, listen, one thing I agree with Luke Thomas on big time, man. He makes a big deal out of like defending the belt and how hard that is. I mean, look what DJ just went through with Tim fucking Elliott, right? Yep. You can line up a bunch of guys even at 45 and be like, oh, well, no way. And there's no sense in them ever even fighting. That's not true. You never know. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to go defend those belts. All the times that DJ fought the Bagatinovs and all the cats that he ended up shitting on in the long run, you had to go defend that belt. It might have not went like that. That's what makes those fucking win streaks so impressive, man. So, you know, Conor's good and he has a lot of potential. But as of right now today, hell nah, dog. It's not even close.
There you go. Now, Dave, with this whole thing, look, again, Conor McGregor, 2-weight champion, now got stripped. We'll talk about, actually, we'll move on to that in a second. But, I mean, same thing here with you. Demetrius Johnson, obviously number 1 pound for pound.
Yeah, I got to agree with Kirby. There's no argument here. I mean, it's all based on defending that belt. I mean, all the respect to Conor McGregor. He put in all the work. He called his shot. He made history. He put himself in that position to make history. We all know what happened with him getting stripped of the belt. But everybody knows who the true 145 or the featherweight champion is, and his name is Conor McGregor. Whether or not Anthony Pettis has a good showing, that could lead into possibly Conor coming back to 45. Whether it's Aldo, but no doubt about it, Demetrius Johnson, man. I mean, that's what kind of makes John Jones the quote unquote greatest of all time. Is just you know, he had to go through murderer's row defending that belt. He was a young boss, just dicing people up. So. Demetrius has shown that he's done the same in a smaller weight class. His only loss is to another guy right below him, a notch down on the pound for pound rankings, in which a lot of people think Dominic Cruz is the number 1 pound for pound. But with John Jones not active as a fighter, he is my number 1 pound for pound fighter, absolutely. With Demetrius Johnson too, but with John out the mix, absolutely, Mighty Mouse is the guy. I really don't agree with the current pound for pound rankings right now. I think they're shit based on the reason that Tony Ferguson is not on that list of 15 that I've seen recently.
Yeah, look, and yeah, whatever. We all agree. Demetrius Johnson, pound for pound #1. All right, moving on. Let's talk Dana White losing his shit. Now, of course, we heard Bjorn Rebney is part of that, that, what is it, MMAA, whatever the fuck, that new thing, right?
MMAAA.
Yeah, fucking everything's anonymous now, fuck it. But he's part of that group. And the first question everybody was asking was, why Bjorn? Why? Now, Tim Kennedy said, oh, he's not part of it. We're the board. He's just there to advise us. But we've seen Bjorn Rebney work, right? The guy does not do anything that isn't, where he doesn't have something to gain at all times. He's never, done anything, okay, how are you going to be such a piece of shit as a promoter, fuck over Eddie Alvarez and then sue him, right? Do all that crazy shit that he did as a promoter, and all of a sudden he gives a shit about the fighters? You can get the fuck out of here with that shit. So, anyway, Dana White being Dana White goes on that, what's it called, UFC Uncensored or something like that with Matt Serra and Jim Norton. Yeah. Jim Norton, which is actually a pretty good show, to be honest with you. But he goes on there and starts saying, Bjork. He calls him Bjork again, and he just wails on him, talking about how much of a piece of shit he really is and all that. And then, now, and again, Dana White, he blows out smoke all the time, right? But he the one thing one of the things he's been always consistent about is Bjorn Rebney being a piece of shit. King Mo said the same shit. I'm sure if you ask Eddie Alvarez, he'll be like, off the camera, he'll be like, yeah, fuck that guy, right? A lot of guys that got fucked up. Jorge Masvidal was
Will
like talking
Brooks.
about,
Will Brooks, Rampage.
Will Brooks, Rampage. All these guys are like, hey, you guys better be careful what the fuck's going on here. You know what I mean? So, I mean, Andy, what do you think about Bjorn's involvement in this thing? Because, I mean, it weirds me out. I still don't like it, and I'm probably never going to like it. Tim Kennedy trying to make a case for it. I think it might be the problem, the reason this whole thing sinks.
So I said last week, it's a waste of time. They've had a cease and desist order today. In fact, a number of cease and desist orders today, from what I can make out. And it's not just from the UFC, it's from other fighters basically saying, don't involve us in it. We don't want to be involved in this. I also believe that Cerrone has actually turned around today and said, oh, hang on, I wasn't expecting to be on a board of anything. This is not as serious as what, and he's admitted that Dana's helped him out in the past and blah, blah, blah. It's like I said before, it's an after school boys club. It's all it is. And the people they've got are absolute morons. I mean, I wouldn't count on any of that lot having a cogent sentence about anything that is worthy of listening to. No, it's a joke. It's a storm in a teacup. It's a few people, like I said last week, trying to rattle a few cages and achieve nothing. They're just going to make themselves look stupid. And like I said, Cerrone's starting to back out of it already, and it's only been going a week. So, bollocks to it. It's crap.
All right. Sorry about that. I had to stop a fight outside my freaking place. It got stupid. Anyway.
Yo, let me jump in on this, man. I gotta say, dog, honestly, like, I am fucking Team Dana on this one, man. Like, I actually listened to Dana's like little interview or whatever on that podcast. Yeah. And what he said was that fucking Cerrone got himself in some legal one time on his boat with some dude.
We all know that story too.
He was about to be fucked, and that Dana White put out 100 stacks of his own money in lawyer fees to fucking absolve Donald Cerrone of that shit. And what's Donald doing to return the favor? Sneaks around with these cocksuckers? I mean, seriously. That's low-key a snaky-ass move, man. I mean, your whole complaint is that nobody fucking, like, does nothing or you don't get no help. Come on, Donald. Dude put out 100 G's just on some legal stupid shit for you probably being off pounding Budweisers. Mm-hmm. That's kind of fucked up, man. You turn your back like that. Like, I don't know. Like, that's all. And then Bjorn Rebney, come on, man. We already know. You can see that dude's got ulterior motives from a mile away, man.
It's the creepy shit, dude. It's just so weird.
It's not like that dude wakes up in the morning and he goes, and I listened to his interview on the MMA Hour too. And I'll give him this. He's a promoter. He's good. He almost kind of sucks you into that thing, and he talks well. He almost makes you want to believe him. He's a slick character, you know what I'm saying? He is a slick dude. But no, I don't think that Bjorn wakes up. He's like, I care about fighters, man. When I was a kid, my dad used to be in boxing, and I seen what happens to boxers after they run out of money, and I've seen how bad it is. I don't believe for a second and a half Bjorn Rebney really has a heart for all these fighters that aren't going to have money after they fight. I just really don't believe that. I'm not saying that he's necessarily broke. I'm sure he's doing all right. He sold Bellator for a lot of dollars. But we all need a paycheck in one way or another. Exactly. And this is a pretty remotely easy way to get one. So
the easiest way to imagine Bjorn is to imagine him with a spiky grey afro.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
He is the white Don King.
Yeah, and he's even more like suspicious too, like how he Fred has talked about the interview he had with Helwani. He's kind of referring to the people who are quote unquote the people who are sponsoring or funding this whole the MMAAA. So what it comes down to though, I mean, it's like we mentioned. I mentioned it last week. Take a note from Eugene S. Robinson. If you don't listen to the show, it's tri-level chess. You got Bjorn and Dana White, the feud that seemingly never ends, rekindling now over all the chips. You know what I mean? So that's why I think it's hella interesting. And I think Bjorn's approach to like with these selective fighters that they have in place is he's sort of counting on like because Dillashaw, known association to Dwayne Ludwig, Cowboy at Jackson's, AKA. So they're planning on trying to like recruit guys from all these biggest gyms and try to make it happen. You know what I mean? So that's definitely his approach. But he's hiding a lot. He said he hasn't been paid in a couple years. He seems a little snaky. And then you add the Donald Cerrone twist to the whole puzzle, and that's fucking weird as shit. Because like Fred brought up, I guess Cerrone like slapped up some guy on the lake one day, and then the guy tried to sue him and shit. He like rammed him with his boat. Long story short, Dana White fucking threw some stacks out there to save his ass. So and Donald Cerrone sort of put himself into like a double agent territory, Manchurian candidate type shit. So
here's the thing, that Dana White saying putting out a story on that podcast makes me think that Cowboy had no fucking clue what he was getting into. I think he's like,
well, yeah, he said that he had no clue. He said he had no clue going into it. He sort of like I think it was the UFC.
He's backtracking a little bit.
Yes, that like what he's getting into, he's not really knowledgeable about it. He's just going with it based on.
Cerrone's not knowledgeable on anything.
Well, hey, if they talk
he wouldn't have a clue what day of the week it is, let alone what he's getting into.
He just wants to beer and fight. And that's what I like Cowboy. That's why I like Cowboy. Just beers and fights. That's all he cares about.
Well, you got to. I guarantee you, Tim Kennedy's the one, and him and Bjorn are probably the ones that talked him into it. So, but it's that approach, like I said, though, with the big gyms. They got fighters from each gym. They got some champions in the mix. So they're hoping that that's going to lead to more fighters getting involved and trying to get this shit rolling. But it's like I said before, it's a hell of a lot of work to be done. Bjorn Rebney being the figurehead and the advisor or so in the process. It seems just real creepy and it seems very fucking strange. And I don't think anybody's going to benefit from it anytime soon. Let's put it that way.
I don't know what he's trying to do fighting Dana still, because at the end of the day, Dana's got absolutely sod all influence now. It's nothing to do with him. He's got, 3% of the WME or Zeus or whatever it is now. So it's nothing to do with him. If this is a personal vendetta, then it's just going to be even more laughable. Right.
And here's the thing. So earlier today, I read I don't know who put it out there, but I think I saw it on Bloody Elbow anyway. But they did put out a letter. There was a cease and desist letter sent to this new MA, whatever the fuck. Okay. No one knows from who really, but they got, some people have, thoughts of one of the other two. Obviously, it's going to be one of the other two, fighter union attempts and shit, right? Send a cease and desist letter. So now these groups are fighting each other. These groups that wanted, they were like, oh, we're going to fight for your fighters' rights and all sorts of shit. Now they're fighting each other. If that doesn't tell you that all these groups want some money, you know what I mean? And that it's really nothing to do about the fighters. I mean, what else do you need?
The key thing with it is if you look at their three three things they want to achieve. The third one's really interesting because it's compensation for historical abuse of fighters. But that's a classic one. That is, I don't understand how they'd even make that stick. But the fact that they're going after it it's like I say, it's all.
And also too, and then another thing that Bjorn mentioned on the interview is he's willing to mention the people that are involved that are sponsoring the whole thing, like at a later date. Like he's going to reveal them like from behind the fucking door number 1 or door number 2.
No, he'll reveal them when he gets them. He's got nobody yet.
So yeah,
the fucking Wizard of Oz over here.
And here's the thing.
No, that's
what? What's up?
No, the Wizard of Oz. That's the new WME UFC. That's who's running the shit. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, and all right. So, real quick. So I saw here on here, Donald Cerrone downplays his involvement with MMAAA. So yeah, he had no idea he was sitting on a board. Like I think Tim Kennedy is like, hey, you want some beers?
Yeah. Yep. He probably heard that fucking interview with Dana White and was like, oh shit, he's got a point. Yep. I'm an asshole.
Yeah,
Dana put him in check real quick, huh?
Oh, fucking real fast. And look, Dana has a point. I mean, that's kind of Cowboy gets paid, right? Cowboy as well. I'm sort of surprised that he's one of those guys that was supposed to coming out to like fight for fighters, right? I mean,
he low key probably is just kind of a gullible dummy, and I'm not even trying to be cute or nothing. I mean,
that might be who
like
he
you
is,
said,
yeah.
Tim Kennedy's a pretty intelligent guy, and Bjorn Rebney's a fucking Listen, I don't like the guy neither.
He's not intelligent at all. He's out hunting Hitler. How fucking intelligent can he be?
That is weird.
Hitler's been dead for 70 years. Does he not know that?
He's intelligent compared to Donald Cerrone, all right?
And a slug's intelligent compared to Donald Cerrone.
Oh, that's the point. And Bjorn Rebney's a fucking silver-tongued snake, so I could see how those two dudes could fucking bamboozle Cowboy after a few fucking Budweiser.
If you put the IQ of all 5 of those together, you still wouldn't get double figures.
There you go. Hey, real quick on the YouTube comments, Mike Jarv says Bjorn equals money grab. And then he says, I believe Cowboy, he is legit clueless. And then Cyborg MMA says it's all the crazy shit Cowboy does. He's been hit in the head too many times. And look, like I said, Cowboy's one of those guys, like if you were hanging out and be like, hey man, you want to go do this? He'd be like, yeah, fuck it, why not? Tim Kennedy's probably like, hey man, we're going to go hang out, meet up, grab some beers, and start this thing. You want to go? Yeah, fuck it, why not? Yeah. And he just showed up.
And see, like Cowboy too, like out at the BMF ranch, like he does a lot of shit for fighters too, like guys that are, Jackson fighters, of course, but he has like his own little dorm out there and he helps out a lot of fighters. Diego Brandao, there's tons of guys, Kyle No. So he's one of those guys where, you know what I mean? Like Andy was saying, or, just Tim Kennedy talked him into it with Bjorn. And then they said, fuck it, let's go with it. Cowboy seems to be a guy who likes to take care of his crew. Let's put it that way. I know for a fact that that's Cowboy style for sure. Absolutely.
All right, let's move on.
Listen,
go ahead.
Okay, just quickly. One thing that Bjorn did say that was fucking smart on the podcast with Ariel was he said, if you're going to do this thing, you have to have all your ducks in a row. You want to have every piece of the puzzle because WME, whatever the fuck, is a huge company. But I think they were nowhere near prepared, man. The only way this thing works is if you come to the table with big-ass names. Ronda and Connor and Jose and Anderson and John Jones. If you could have done some shit like that, all this is different. The dudes he showed up with didn't matter at all, and that's just the fucking long and short of it.
Well, that's the catch-22 because those people are getting well paid and well looked after. They've got no qualm with the UFC.
And also the weirdest thing about it, to close this topic though, guys, the weirdest thing that Bjorn Rebney said, I don't know if you guys agree with him or if you heard it, he believes that this process and what they're doing and making it happen now, if it doesn't happen now, he believes in, in a period of time, 5 years, 10 years, that there won't be an MMA, there won't be the UFC. That's what he believes.
Well, there won't be the UFC in that time, but there'll still be a big MMA organization.
Yeah, someone will be there. I mean, look, we fucking can't tell the future, right? And neither can Bjorn Rebney. By the way, the guy that nearly tanked Bellator by himself. I love the fact that that's the guy coming out saying, "Oh, UFC's not gonna be there." Go fuck yourself, dude. All right. It's been managed pretty well so far. I mean, that's all I'm saying. So
MMA will be around.
Right.
Mixed martial arts isn't going nowhere. One way or the other, whether it's the UFC, Bellator, ONE FC, MMA is here to stay, Jack. I don't care what other 3 letters they put in front of it. We are all, there's a lot of money to be made. That's just scare tactics, man. Dude's like a gay-ass Donald Trump. If you don't side with me, everybody's going to die.
Well, hey, fuck it. All right, move on to the next thing. And real quick, Jason's not going to make the show. He's having some technical issues, so we'll have to for the next one.
He's got no reception in his van.
Exactly. It is free candy van.
Is the Pokestop van still going?
You know what? Yeah, of course. That's that's what he does. Anyway, I mean, I don't know about the Pokestop van, but that's he does it for work. Anyway, all right, moving on. Next thing here, Nick Diaz reaches agreement with the NAC or Nevada State Athletic Commission. Of course, he wasn't able to corner Nate Diaz in either Conor McGregor fight because he still owed them money and a bunch of other shit. Well, apparently he's got that figured all out. He's a free man again, or whatever. Like he can fight, he can corner, whatever, right? So obviously the question is, who do you put him up against? Vitor Belfort called him out. Basically, everyone's calling out Nick Diaz because the Diaz name's out there, and it's going to be a money fight now because he's a Diaz, right? GSP supposedly is really wanting that rematch for whatever reason. He won last time. I don't know. He wants to fight him again. Belfort wants him. I'm pretty sure he's boys with Jorge Masvidal, so I don't think that fight would actually happen. But that would be a legit fight to see, I think, if they actually agreed on it. Diaz Masvidal would be legit. So I started here with Dave. Who do you throw in there with Nick?
Man, there's tons of guys that probably want that fight right now. Vitor is a name. I'm just waiting for the announcement. UFC 209, Nick Diaz versus whoever, but it's going to be somebody big. It'll probably be the main event of that card. It's good to know that Nick Diaz will be back in the mix soon enough. I mean, I know they tried to pull like some horse trade type shit at UFC. What is it, 204? When Conor McGregor, or not the McGregor, the Nate Diaz second fight, they tried to horse trade him there. Yeah, they tried to get like Nick involved or whatever then, but now I'm glad that shit's clearing up, and I can finally take my free Nick Diaz sticker off my laptop, or might just leave it there. But yeah, very much looking. No, I'm very much looking forward to seeing Nick back in there. It depends on what they want him. If they want him to fight at 185 or 170, I think 170 suits him well. Shit, man, throw him in there against the winner of who knows Cowboy. Cowboy's always willing to fight everybody. A Cowboy Nick Diaz fight would be fucking super interesting for everybody. But at 170 though, there's too many matchups to be named. I mean, shit, Nick can call his shot. He wants to fight Vitor, go in there and beat the shit out of Vitor and probably retire him. Then yeah, do it. But UFC 209, Nick Diaz headlines, calling it right now.
That'd be great. Hopefully they do it in Cali. Real quick, because I just ran into this picture on Instagram. It's completely off topic. Ronda Rousey's on the Conan O'Brien show, and she looks
training
good.
hard. Then
she's in fucking shape, dude. Like, seriously, she's in mad shape.
She better be.
She looks in shape. Like, you know how like when she was on Alien or whatever, she's all chubby and had like 3 chins and shit. No, she's fucking cut. She's ready to go.
She's on fucking steroids now.
Huh?
She's on steroids now. She's no fool.
Whatever she needs, fuck it.
The writing's on the wall, Jack. She ain't losing again.
Whatever, man. She looks ready to go and in shape. All right, Andy, who would you throw in with Nick Diaz? I mean, me personally, I want someone that's gonna stand with him and fight. Because Nick's not fighting for a title.
Give him Silver again.
Why not? Why not?
Look crikey. Look what happened in that first fight.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind him or Bisping.
If you want the card that's going to pull people after what he did the first time, and plus the fact, I think he can beat him.
Dude, I wouldn't. Yeah. Well, how do you think
you're not going to give him a high ranking for high ranking. You're not going to give him a high ranked fighter as his first fight back after ages.
Right.
Again, he's another cash cow because of what his brother's been doing in the last year. The Diaz name is just up there. Everybody. And half the people wouldn't know there's a difference between Nate and Nick Diaz, to be honest.
Oh, have people fuck it up.
So, I think, give him Anderson Silva. I mean, that'd be a good fight.
Now, what do you think? Let's say they just throw, because we know the UFC throws all fucks out the window, especially right now when they want to make some money, right? Let's say they go just to say it's cash cow. Throw him in there with Bisping. Who do you think wins that fight?
Careful what you say.
No, I'm asking you. Who would you?
Me? I thought you were on about Fred.
Oh, no, you. Then we'll go with Fred right now. But what do you think of that?
Against Bisping? I mean, I'm not a lover of Bisping, but at the moment, I just see that his heart and his grit is just above and beyond anybody. His last 3 fights, a couple of his fights have been wars, and you just won't get the better of him. I don't think at the moment. That's what's driving him. He's not particularly, the best skilled fighter around.
Mm-hmm.
But say that again.
Dude, you know what though? I'd like whatever, dude. I'd love to see.
I'd still take him over Nick Diaz.
Yeah, I'd love to see the fight though. I mean, 2 guys that have ridiculous cardio and can bring the pressure the way they do, and they fucking just decide to stand and throw. That would be a ridiculous fight, in my opinion. I wouldn't give a shit if they did it for the title or not. Just throw the fight together, it'd be great. But yeah, Kirby, would you throw? And people were asking, like I was talking to people on Twitter, and the name that kept coming up of fucking course was Conor McGregor.
Lawler.
I don't want to see
No.
People are talking about McGregor and Nick Diaz. I don't want to see that at all.
Robbie Lawler.
Definitely not Conor. Yeah, listen. Here's the deal. You know what if I'm Ari Emanuel, I tell you what I want with Nick Diaz. I want some gold around his waist, Jack. I tell you what, I might just say fuck it and give him Tyron Woodley. You know why? Because I can, and it's my company. I've got faith in Nick, and I think he might win the fight. And can you imagine what Nick Diaz as a UFC champion does for not only fucking the division, but the whole company? And listen, Conor McGregor's about to be bye-bye for a while. You think having Nick as a champion wouldn't liven shit right the fuck up? And if you think Nick Diaz can't beat Tyron Woodley,
out of your mind.
Fights. I mean, he'd have to be on his game, but that's a fight he could win. Now, he probably won't get it because he doesn't necessarily deserve it. Blase. Give him Robbie Lawler, man. That's to see. And if he wins that one, usher him into a title shot as soon as possible.
I'd be okay with that. I'd be okay with that. I wouldn't mind giving him Woodley right away. Just like you said, just for the fact that you know, just like I mean, first of all, if Nick Diaz became welterweight champion, you know Conor McGregor is like, oh shit, I gotta take a shot at that.
Well, listen, Nick and Nate Diaz are two of the few guys that kind of got their own shine.
Right.
They're the few guys. Dude, if Nick won that belt, I could see Nick being like, fuck Conor, man. I don't need that little Irish prick. I'm not fighting. I'm the fucking man. I'm the fucking champ. Like, he couldn't even beat my little brother. Like, that would be great. You know, he's the one guy that doesn't need the Conor fight. Right. You know what I'm saying? Those dudes bring their own shit to the table. Belt, who isn't fun for Nick? You know what I'm saying? No matter who fights him, it's going to be a fun, interesting fight unless they fucking dig GSP up. Yeah. Bring him back.
No, you know what they might do? You know what could possibly bring him? I mean, he's not officially retired, but what could bring him back out is Carlos Condit. Yeah, and he said that'd be a fight that he'd happily accept and run that back again. So
yeah, but Condit ran away too. Like he barely engaged him. Now smart that he didn't engage Nick Diaz, right? He played it smart, but bored the piss out of me. Like I was like, dude, why are you running? Fucking, he's as good a striker as Nick Diaz is. The only difference is Nick Diaz probably has the pressure and the cardio to overcome him. But I thought it was gonna be a way better fight than it ended up being. You know what I mean? But
I low-key think if they could get away with it and the public wouldn't have too much of a fucking sore pussy over it, I'd throw him in a title fight, dog.
That's what I would do.
Throw him right in there with Tyron Woodley. Because listen, one thing's for sure, man. He's money. He's a money fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, whoever gets that fight, he's not quite Conor McGregor money, but he's big money. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if he could win the belt quickly like that, fuck it, go for it. And quite frankly, who at 70 is going to complain? Because they going to get more money for fighting Nick for the belt than Tyron Woodley, too. The whole division would probably be like, sweet, let him go and win. Because then a title fight at 170 means more anyways. As much as I like Tyron,
right?
Like we said before, man, Tyron's great, but Nick's got that fucking charisma. He's got that star power, man. It means so much more.
And here's the thing about that, though. Believe me, Tyron Woodley, remember he was doing the whole, McGregor doesn't want to come up here to 170 and fight for a title. No, stay away, McGregor. Don't come up here and challenge me for a title. Basically, he wants that fight to make some money, right? If you call Tyron Woodley right now, if Dana White calls him like, hey, Nick Diaz, UFC 209, Woodley's like in. Right?
Yeah, but haven't they already promised Wonderboy the immediate rematch anyway? So
true, but they also fucking lied their asses off. I mean, was it Miesha Tate that they promised a title shot to, and they ripped it right out of her hands?
You know what? I gotta say, I'm kind of down with this.
Right.
If we had just fucking not had that pesky bullshit, we would have got fucking Crow Cop and Randy Couture back in the day, like we all wanted. What'd we get? Fucking hairy ass man bear pig Gonzaga. Because he pulled some horse shit off. Fuck him. You can. Don't make Nick Diaz fight fucking some rangy prick that fucks around and ekes out a decision. Give him the shot for the goddamn belt. Let's pull the cash grab. Fuck it all. Piss on the rules and the rankings and the most of it.
Hey, they've been doing it already. They don't give a fuck now. So why would they give a fuck out later on? All right. I think that's all we have for topics here. Anything else you guys want to bring up before we get to bookings?
Well, what the fuck? Isn't there a big fucking event this weekend?
Right. I mean, we can talk about that too. Yeah, let's talk about 206. a little bit here. We're gonna have a breakdown show on Friday, ladies and gentlemen. So we're not gonna go into super detail.
Oh, okay.
But we can actually, I know we can talk about that anyway. UFC 206, of course, headlined by Max Holloway against Anthony Pettis for the interim featherweight title, making Jose Aldo the outright champ. I don't fucking get the whole thing or why they did with that. But regardless, that's a legit fight. And I like Holloway. I'm picking Holloway in this one. Dave, who are you looking at in this one?
Yeah, I think one thing, I forgot he tweeted it out. I read it earlier today, and it's they're kind of wondering, like, what if the winner of the Pettis-Holloway fight, what if they don't call for Jose and they call for Conor? You know what I mean? So maybe that draws interest with the Showtime and Conor matchup or so. But Jose is the interim champion, quote unquote, and then whoever wins on Saturday is the interim. So I guess they gotta meet up if they gotta unify the title and somehow, some way. 5 champion in 2017, not official. We all know Conor's the man. So, but in this fight here with
have you been
Holloway,
taking Fred's bloody licking Conor McGregor's arse pills?
Hey, no, McGregor's proved that he made history.
Oh, he hasn't proved shit until he defends everything.
Well, he needs to take his time off, and when he comes back, I think he'll have the boogeyman waiting for him when he comes back.
That hard work giving birth that he's going to have to do, yeah.
But with this, with the 45 pitcher, coming all into play with all these pieces, these moving pieces now, it's a great fight. I mean, like Anthony Pettis said, the 45 division needs some Showtime. So, man, if Showtime's able to pull it off, man, previous 155 champ, that's going to be great. He doesn't, like a lot of people low-key don't think he deserves it, but we all know what happened. DC pulled. This matchup makes sense. Mad Max Holloway, one of the baddest motherfuckers that fought at featherweight. Conor McGregor being the guy, the only setback of his career. So would love to see Max raise gold, whether or not it's interim or not. I just think that it's been a long time coming for him, in which Showtime just kind of seized the opportunity, and he's going in there for the win, because I think Anthony Pettis is going to be very dangerous on Saturday. But ultimately, I think Max Holloway's got a lot to prove, and a win over Showtime puts him in that place. And I think I got to go with Max Holloway with the early pick or so. I know we'll get to it on Friday, but exciting stuff in the 45 division. There's killers list of them right after that fight. 45 division gets fucking at its most dangerous, I think, that it's ever been in 2017.
Now, Andy, we're talking Pettis cut down at 145 for 5 rounds. It's hard for me to believe he can last 5 rounds. I think he's going to come out like a bat out of hell.
Well, he looked like death at the weigh in his last fight, didn't he?
Yeah.
But he performed brilliantly. So I don't think that's going to be too much of a problem for him. I don't think the 5 round thing is going to be a problem for him. I think the problem for him is going to be Max Holloway.
Yeah.
He's on a tear. He's going to I think he's going to walk through Pettis. I really do. I think, and then that sets it all up, as Dave was pointing out, because who was the last person that beat Max Holloway? It just sets it all up, doesn't it? But yeah, I think Holloway is just, again, there's something, it's in his head. If you've watched the countdown and the embeddeds and stuff, he's got true belief in himself, and I don't think it's misguided either. I think he's genuinely got the skills, he's got the power, and other than the fact that everything's down to bloody God, but and plus the fact that Hawaii state flag's got the Union Jack on it, so he's a quarter British anyway.
Oh, so now we know why. Okay.
There it is. There it is. It finally comes out.
Take it away, Kirby.
Quarter British, he says. Well, I tell you what, I'm glad all you poor pricks fucking went for the Hawaiian and the quarter British or whatever the fuck he is. And I tell you what, I'm going to fucking enlighten you pricks on something. I think you're all wrong. I think it's fucking Showtime at 45. And I'll tell you why I think it's Showtime at 45. You just said it, English. Who was the last guy that Max Holloway lost to?
Your
McGregor.
Yeah, your anal buddy.
That's right, my boyfriend. That's right, my boyfriend. Now, what do Conor McGregor and Anthony Pettis have in common?
A champion.
They're not both Cuban, goddammit. They're Puerto Rican or whatever he is. They both are fucking creative, dynamic fucking strikers.
If you not watch Max Holloway,
had a Max Holloway, yeah, that's who he's fighting. And he got thumped on by Conor McGregor when Conor blew his
10
ACL
fights ago.
out.
10 fights ago.
I don't give a shit. He still got thumped on, and fucking Conor was missing an ACL.
10 fights ago.
And listen, in those 10 fights, has he fought anybody that was close to the technical striker that Anthony Pettis or Conor McGregor is?
Ooh,
I'll go ahead and answer that for you. No,
okay.
He has not.
None.
He is not. And I think, who has Anthony Pettis had problems with? First off, he's had problems at 55 with RDA and Edson Barboza. Both aggressive, hard strikers. Max Holloway is technical, but I wouldn't quite call him powerful. And neither one of them knocked out Anthony Pettis either. I think all these things matter. And I think that when they get into a technical striking battle, I think Anthony Pettis is going to be a little better. I think he'll land the shots that matter more.
Yeah,
It's an interesting opinion.
Yeah, Pettis
it's wrong,
is
but it's an interesting opinion.
It's wrong, but yeah.
Definite known tough bastard, though. I know you guys will agree with that. Yeah, Anthony Pettis, that's what's going to, against Max, he's going to have to be as tough as nails because Max is going to bring it. But Pettis, man, he got completely fucking beat down by RDA. He didn't go out. Edson Barboza fucking nearly kicked his leg off, and he was still in the fight to the end. That was a 3-round fight, but this 5-rounder with Max, I don't know. Do you guys see the fight even going the distance, or what do you guys think as like a possible outcome of this one?
Shit, I don't know.
3rd round knockout for Holloway.
Honestly, man, I kind of go the other way. I think 2nd round knockout by Anthony Pettis, man. I think that Anthony Pettis is going to really try to shine and make a statement in this fight. Maybe it'll cost him and Holloway will get the knockout, but no, I don't think it goes the distance. I think that they're going to come out and fucking – I think it'll be a fun fight and it'll be exciting. I do not think that it will be remotely boring. I think that both of those cats are going to come out and they're going to be striking hard. And it's going to be a fun striking affair, and it will not be boring. That's for sure.
Rest of that main card for 206 is Donald Cerrone against Matt Brown, Cub Swanson against Duho Choi, Tim Kennedy against Calvin Gastelum.
See, stop there.
Okay.
Can I just make a call to Calvin Gastelum if he watches this? Please knock Tim Kennedy into a little puddle of piss and blood. Thank you very much.
And mine against Meek. I don't remember who this Meek guy is, so I can't fucking. We'll talk about it on Friday.
Korean Superboy.
Yeah, Korean Superboy.
Yeah. That's the one.
Duho Choi's got that right hand that fucking he lands on your chin. You're going to sleep. That shit's nasty. So Cub better watch his ass.
Yeah, I love that fight too, man. Because he's somebody at 45 that I think nobody's really talking about, and he could very well. Listen, that's the crazy thing about MMA, right? Everybody's like, "Oh, Conor McGregor, he's done with 45." Let's just see. Hypothetically, fucking what's his name? Is it the Korean Wonder Boy?
Superboy.
Superboy. Okay. If he comes out, who's he fighting? Cub Swanson.
Cub Swanson, yeah.
Yeah, if he fucking starches him, and then hypothetically, Pettis or Holloway starches the other one, all of a sudden you've got a slight queue of guys building up, and a couple more fights past that. Say Duho Choi fucking knocks out a couple guys and becomes the champion late 2017. All of a sudden things are completely fucking different, and you could have this fucking Korea versus Ireland battle. I mean, people get way too caught up on things. I've seen that, like, oh, Conor's gone for 10 months. What's the UFC going to do?
Well, don't forget Zombie's back now as well. Zombie's back now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the featherweight division is probably, like, in my opinion, it's the most stacked that it's ever been in its history. And, like, Yair Rodriguez is one of those guys. That's a definite contender. Brian Ortega, we know he's out. He's rehabbing. He'll be back in the mix soon. That guy's a young boss. Yeah, Cub Swanson, though, the fight with Choi, I mean, we've seen Cub Swanson in some fantastic fights. Like, he's one of the best featherweights, and he's had his day. He's had some fucking great matchups in the UFC. This is a true test for Choi to see if he can overcome Cub at where he's at in his career. I mean, Cub's fought them all. So if Choi's going to go in there and finish Cub, he's actually going to be right in the mix for a title shot, I believe, because a lot of people are high on that guy, in which he's lucky that what Brian Ortega's on the sidelines, because that guy is a dangerous fucking dude at 145, and I see him being in a title fight and in title contention in 2017 as soon as he's healthy to come back.
Dude, for the record, real quickly, I know y'all probably gonna do a pre-show, and I might hop on that. I might not. Are we? Are y'all picking Doo Ho Choi? Are we all on that boat?
Oh yeah,
we on that hype train. Yeah, me too, for sure.
Yeah.
And apologies to Mikey Rukas, because I think he's actually done the Cub Swanson walkout music for this event, hasn't he? So
yeah,
that's right.
Mike does good work. He as long as his work is appreciated, he's cool. Real quick, Andy, your boy chipped in here on the Redney subject, but he says there's a documentary made about Bjorn Redney's dad called Winnebago Man, and funnily enough, it's great. I don't know anything about Winnebago Man, so I'll have to look that up.
Nor me, but I'll have to look it up.
Yeah, we'll have to look that up. All right, Dave, fight bookings.
All right, it's been a somewhat of a busy week since we last were on, and I think we have a fantastic fight booked up in UFC Fox 23. Juliana Pena, Valentina Shevchenko.
Night, Pena.
Oh, Pena's going to sleep. I think it's proper
matchmaking, and I think Shevchenko is going to be in a title. She kind of low key does deserve a title shot, but she does have the loss to Nunez, so it would have been a rematch. But hey, I think that fight happens real soon, and Shevchenko a win over Holly, the way she won, she deserves a shot.
We're gonna talk about that. Sorry, go ahead. After the fight bookings, we got one more thing. Sorry, it'll be quick though. Go ahead, Dave. I know.
They also they rebooked Aljamain Sterling and Rafael Asuncion. That's also slated for UFC Denver. That's added to that card as well. We also have a very not a matchup we could see like coming, but then again, it really does make sense for this division. We got Angela Hill, champion of Invicta, taking on Jessica Andrade, who's possibly, a lot of people think that she's, the next gal to challenge Joanna, and this fight should probably determine a contender here. What do you guys think about that?
Love it.
I like the fight, but I think Hill's gonna get, best.
Yeah, I don't think that. I think she's improved since she's gone back to Invicta.
Oh, she looked great. She looked great in the last couple
it'll
fights.
Be fun.
So, yeah. I was kind of upset that we didn't get to see her against Grasso. I think that would have been a great fight. But maybe we'll get to see it sooner or later. All right. Any others, Dave?
Yeah. Also, UFC Halifax. They just added a couple fights to that card. February 19, Elias Theodoro against Diego Ferreira, and also Thiago Santos and Jack Marshman. And I think they're also your gal Eddie Alexa Grasso. She also does have a fight. I don't know if you heard.
Yeah,
Felice Herrig.
Felice Herrig. She's gonna tune up Felice Herrig real bad.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I think that's one fight that gets her closer to where she's going to be, and I think she's going to be a high level contender in that division, possibly a champion in the future. And I'm with you, Ed. I'm high on her skill set, and I think the Felice Herrig fight will showcase what she's all about. Just a name under her belt, and yeah, that division is going to get a little bit interesting in 2017 as well.
All right. Before we end the show here, there's one more thing we want to talk about, and I was on the list, and I completely forgot about it. Do you guys buy what Dana White says, that he says he offers Cyborg? Cyborg actually, no, I think about it. Cyborg actually acknowledged it. But Dana White supposedly said he offered Cyborg 2 145-pound belt title fights, right? One 8 weeks away, the other one 10 weeks away. One was against Holly Holm, and the other one against Jermaine Durandamy, right? And she turned both of them down. Why? Says 8 weeks or 10 weeks, not enough time to get done at 145. Now, we've been sold this bill of whack shit goods that she can make 135, and I didn't believe it. I don't think anyone's believed she can make 135, not even a little bit, right? And she said she can't make 145 in a reasonable amount of time, so she needs like 12 weeks or so to make 145. I mean, what the fuck? I mean, Fred, you go first, sir.
Listen, we all know that DW tells tales sometimes, but just for the sake of argument, let's just say that he's telling the truth here. If this is all true, then I call complete utter bullshit. Complete bull. The old girl has made 140, right?
Mm-hmm.
Twice.
She looked like death, like.
Oh yeah, but she
don't give a shit what she did. She made it and she didn't die. 5 more pounds above that for the fucking title fight, the division, everything you've been asking for, and you get fucking 8 weeks and you can't do it. Fucking
yeah.
I can't play these motherfuckers fast enough. Bullshit. She is the most overrated fighter of all times.
Sheesh.
You know the bullshit.
Yeah.
The bullshit that fucking Danny used to say about Fedor. That is so how I feel about Cyborg. I am sorry.
That's a good point. I forgot about that.
She has been murking nobody's. Now you got fucking all due respect to the Iron Lady. You turned that one down.
Yeah, what the fuck?
What the fuck? That was the one, dog.
Yep.
Holly Holm, I could see you maybe being like, yo, if Holly Holmes don't got to cut all that weight, she can come in at 45. But that's the fight that needs to happen.
Mm-hmm.
If she comes out and knocks out Holly Holm at 45, I will shut the fuck up about her. But the fact that she didn't even take it after all this belly aching about 35, fine. We'll give you your own division. Get Ariel Helwani. Oh, it's so sad. She's got to cut that much weight. She ain't got to do nothing. Ain't nobody making Cyborg do piss all. Now we're giving her a fucking division, and she still can't make it? Get the fuck out of here, man.
That's all bullshit, man.
Sorry, dog.
Oh, yeah.
And you think when she was talking about, Ronda doesn't want to fight me. Why doesn't Ronda go up to 140 and fight me? Why doesn't Ronda come up to 145 and fight me? But she don't even want to fight 145 anymore. She needs 12 weeks or whatever the fuck she says she needs to make 145. I'm done with Cyborg. For real. I've been done. People used to give me shit on Twitter all the time. I'm the one laughing now. Go fuck yourselves. But Andy, what do you think about this whole thing? I mean, she turns out 2 title fights at 145, and now she's making excuses. Is it the weight, or do you think she just doesn't want to fight, let's say, like a Holly Holm?
Send her out to Ryzen and get her to fight Gabby Garcia and shut her up.
That'd be a fair fight. Gabby against this chick instead of Gabby against the grandma. Fucking tiny little.
It's getting on my tits now. It really is. It's bickering, it's moaning, it's whining. It's just, it's everybody using social media to try and get a grievance across lately. It's not going to get you anywhere. It's not going to get you any friends, especially when it backfires on you like it seems to have done with her at the moment. Just shut up and fight.
Yeah, and I'm still not convinced she actually ever tweets her own shit, because there's no way her English is that good.
Oh, some of it she does.
Some of it she does. Well, yeah, I've seen some of the awful shit. It's like, it makes no sense and everything. She got someone to tweet for her, though.
She gets her man thumbs onto the keyboard every now and again.
She's just like, fuck, I can't get the letter. Dave, what do you think about this? Like, I was pumped when I heard the possibility of Cyborg as Holly Holm. I was like, yes. It's like Kirby said, that's the fight. That's the fight. Because Holly Holm can hold her own against Cyborg for sure. She can maybe even knock her out. You know what I mean? We don't get that fight. And Holly Holm's supposed to be all down for doing everything. Now, there's a story that says Winklejohn went out there and said, oh, no, that's not the fight for Holly. They already refuted that, saying that they were all in for that fight. Now they don't get it. What do you think is the problem here with Cyborg?
Yeah, you guys made some great points. I couldn't agree with y'all more. I mean, shit, man. I was talking about pound-for-pound rankings earlier. How can you have Chris Cyborg at number 10? She's not in the top 10 pound-for-pound. I don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you beat Holly Holm, like Fred said, then you got my attention. You're going to shut me up, right? Just along with everybody else.
She's in the top 10, did you say?
Top 10 pound-for-pound ranking. Top 10, number 10 right now.
That? Top 10 bog whoppets? What? I don't understand. What? She's in the top 10.
Yeah.
Post rankings together?
I don't even know.
Yeah, if you're one of those people that follows the pound-for-pound rankings, and you live and die by those numbers. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, I know for a fact that Holly Holm for sure wants that fight. She'll take that fight any day. Her crazy ass manager, he's down for that fight because that's a money fight right there. And I think Holly's definitely the girl that would have fucking probably start Cyborg, in which that's why she turned the fight down. But she's got to beat somebody. I mean, you got her at number 10 pound for pound. For what? How is she number 10 pound for pound? I just do not get that. So yeah, you guys made some great points. I'm really kind of just sick of it, because it's like, get her against somebody, get her against a name. The randomie fight made fucking good sense, even though we would have talked shit about that fight and she might have got fucking handed somebody else as a whatever. But she's not even booked to fight right now, saying that she needs 18 weeks to fucking cut weight down. So either the weight is part of your job.
Does she walk around then? She needs 18 weeks to cut down to 145. What the fuck does she walk around at?
Dude, steroids, sometimes steroids last a long time. I mean,
18 weeks, she can low-key shit out a baby in 18 weeks, man. Get the fuck out of here.
That's not how biology works, mate.
And then honestly, like, why would she turn the fight down? I mean, it opens up a new division. She not only can, like, you know what I mean? Like, that was the main part of it that totally fucking blows, is like, you got a 145 division that the UFC is considering to start around you, and then you involve Holly Holm with it, where Holly could potentially have been a 2-division champion. that's fucking a money fight right there. That's the fight that needed to be made.
What they need to do is they need
and
to
then
put a
again-
145 title fight together and not include her.
Oh,
And force her to sit back and watch a 145 title.
that'd be fucking hilarious. Why not Holly Holm against Jermaine Durand? Make that
Yeah,
fight.
there was talks of that as well too. I remember mentioning that to you, Ed. So that's why Holly's still in talks with the UFC right now. There's something brewing up. Maybe they'll figure something out and tell Cyborg we're gonna fight you at fucking whatever weight you want to fight at, and we'll make a title.
170 probably.
Yeah, exactly. A fucking welterweight title. Yeah.
Who are you gonna get at that weight? God damn.
I'm just as sick of it as you guys are. It makes me more sick when I look at the pound per pound rankings and see her at number 10 when you got a guy like Tony Ferguson who's beaten 9 guys in the fucking most stacked division in the UFC, and he's not on the list. So that's it.
All right. Anything else you want to talk about before we end this shit?
Yeah, Glory 36, Glory Collision. Going to say it again.
Ooh.
Saturday, sorry, and it's in Germany, so it'll be lunchtime morning for you guys.
Yeah, early fights is the shit.
The
Hey,
people, go on.
do you know how much the pay-per-view is, Andy?
Not a clue.
I would imagine. I think it's probably like 12, 15. I wouldn't imagine it's no full price, right?
It can't be.
I have no idea, but the fights that are on that card is just. I mean, you got Nikki Holzkin on it. You got Sitachai on it against Marat Grigorian. You got Tiffany Van Zoost on it. You know, Rico against Bader. It's just a stacked card.
I'm pumping Rico against Bader for real. I want to see that.
Yeah, I fuck with
Everybody
that fight.
wants to see that.
I'm actually low-key thinking about ordering it just for that fight.
Have you seen how ripped Bader looks at the moment?
Yeah. Bader's a bad motherfucker too, man. I would love to see him come to MMA.
I don't think they're testing, dude. I saw the picture of him. I'm like, I don't think they're testing, dude.
Hey, speaking of testing, Alistair Overeem was real pissy about the whole UFC 203 thing with Joe Rogan.
What?
He's going to be commentating
Oh,
that.
get the fuck! No, Alistair Overeem. Okay, I know what you're talking about. I heard this shit. He was like, "Oh, Rogan got me with that gotcha shit. He got me with the gotcha. Yeah. Shut the fuck up! God damn it, Alistair. You already made you first of all. You look stupid going up there saying, "Oh, yeah. I felt him tap." We all watched the video, dude. There was no tap.
Right.
Bro, Rogan fucking explained it to you a million times like a 5-year-old, and you're still coming out with this bullshit. Like, dude, stop talking. Just stop talking. God damn it. Fuck.
But yeah, he's he's color commentating at Glory.
Yeah, he's commentating.
Yeah, he's been beaten and did beat Bader Hari. So been beaten by and has beaten him.
Yeah. What were you saying, Dave?
No, I don't know if you guys caught the tweet. Nate Diaz said he's taking 10 months off, and as of like 20 minutes ago, Dustin Poirier is calling him out for UFC Brooklyn. So.
Wait, Poirier against Nate Diaz?
He's calling Diaz out. Yeah.
Does Poirier have a death wish or something? First of all, they're not going to give him that fight. Second of all, he's going to get fucked up.
Yeah.
He's going to get fucked up if they give him that fight. But they're not going to get that fight. No way.
If they must, book Nate and Nick on 209. I know they don't like to fight on the same card, but fuck it. Yeah. Put them both on 209. I say fuck it. Let's do it.
I think we better chance to get Nick than Nate, to be honest with you. But anyway.
Yo, listen.
What up?
Listen, I got to go. But quickly, before I run out of here, I want to hear one word on Ryan Hall.
Fuck him.
That's 2.
Weak.
Sorry, I know, but put him together. Fuck him.
Genius.
Yeah.
Dave said weak.
Interesting. I liked it. I thought it was cool, man. Yeah, I kind of dug it. It was weird, but I dug it.
I don't know. He pissed me off with the whole, I was like, I don't know about this EBI thing. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry they make jiu-jitsu for submission only. I'm sorry they don't have points for you, Ryan, you fuck. God damn it. That pissed me off. Anyway. All right. But I'm a jiu-jitsu guy, so what can I tell you? All right. Well, that's going to do it for us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. You can follow Jesse S41 1983. Kirby's over at Kirby_MMA. Dave is at Dave's MMA Brief. And Andy, of course, does not give 2 shits if you follow him or not. But he does want you to watch Glory, so make sure you will do that. And you can follow me at Elon31. And we'll catch you guys on Friday for the UFC Albany is Friday too, my bad. But the Albany 206 pre-fight show. So we'll see you guys on Friday.